The world right now is buzzing about generative AI. It's not only the tech gurus, it's the non-tech people also. Majority of the people from different industries are talking about AI and its advancement. Majority of organizations and companies are trying to adopt AI into their different use cases and workflows. Majority of developers are trying to upskill and be good with using AI. Majority of non-tech people are trying to understand how they can be able to utilize AI in their daily task every single day. So today I'm going to talk about getting started with AI or generative AI on AWS. And we're going to see how organizations, companies, developers, and everyone can be able to use the different service offerings that are offered on AWS about generative AI. So join me as we go through this quick video about getting started with Gen AI on AWS. Now, when you're trying to leverage generative AI on AWS, it's not about selecting a single best AWS service for your own use case. It's all about selecting the right tools for your job. Think of it like a medical practitioner. A surgeon, a neurosurgeon, a kidney specialist, a dermatologist, an oncologist, a dentist all use different tools to work on the specific jobs. This is the same applies to your organization. AWS offers a similar toolkit for generative AI, and your choice depends entirely on your project goals, on what you actually want to achieve. Now here's a breakdown of how or the key generative AI service framed as a guide to help you decide which one actually fits your decision or fits your use case. Now, at the top of AWS's generative AI stack is Amazon Q. Now in Amazon Q, there are several things. We have Amazon Q Business, and also we have Amazon Q Developer. Now for Amazon Q Business, it can answer questions, provide summaries, generate content, and, which is key, securely complete tasks based on enterprise data in the enterprise system. It actually supports the general use case of using AI to start making the most of information in your enterprise. You can be able to make English-like queries about the information, and then it provides in a manner that is appropriate to your team's need. On the other side, we have the Amazon Q Developer. Now, for the Amazon Q Developer, you can understand, build, extend, and operate AWS application. It supports different use cases, including tasks that range from coding, testing, and upgrading application to diagnosing error and performing security scans. So Amazon Q Developer is aligned more on the developer side, and Amazon Q Business is aligned more on the enterprise side. Now let's head to the second part of the generative AI stack on AWS. Now the second part is Amazon Bedrock. It is the central hub for generative AI innovation. Think of Amazon Bedrock as your go-to platform for creating customized generative AI solutions. But it has a unique twist. It is not a single tool, but a carefully curated and managed collection of the best tools on the market. It abstracts away the heavy lifting of infrastructure management and security. You can be able to actually focus on building your application and making your application the best as it can be. Now let's break down why Amazon Bedrock is powerful. 1. The power of choice. The foundation models. The most unique feature of Amazon Bedrock is the model choice. Now you have a massive choices of different AI models. And what is a foundation model? It's a massive AI model that has been pre-trained on a huge amount of data. Bedrock gives you access to a selection of these high-performing foundation models from different leading AI companies. Why? Because different models have different capabilities. Because not all models are equal. Some models are better at creative writing, others are superior at code generation. By offering multiple foundation models, you give an organization or a developer a chance to be able to experiment with the different types of foundation models. Second, toolkit for customization. You can be able to build with your own data. The foundation models are very smart, but it doesn't know anything about your company. So Bedrock provides tools to be able to give or to teach these foundation models more about your organization. This is where you transform a generic model into your own intelligent company expert. One feature that is there is the knowledge bases. This is a key feature for non-tech users. Why? Because you can be able to connect Bedrock to your company's internal data source. For example, let's say your company's documents are stored in Amazon S3 or they're in the database. The AI can then search and retrieve relevant information from your data to provide accurate, up-to-date, company-aware products and details about the organization. You can build a chatbot that answers questions about your company's product or has knowledge about what your company goes. This technique is called retrieval augmented generation, and we'll talk about this in a different video. Another thing for customization is fine-tuning. If you want a model to adopt a specific tone, style, you can fine-tune it by providing it with example. Bedrock takes care of the process, creating a private, customized copy of the model just for you, which remains secure and is never used to train the base model. You can fine-tune a foundation model to be able to align with your company's tone or your company's brand voice. Number 3 is the Amazon Bedrock agents. As part of the Amazon Bedrock tools, it helps you plan and create a multi-step tasks using your company's system and data sources. From answering customers' questions about your product availability to taking their orders. You can create an agent by first selecting a foundation model, and then you provide it access to your enterprise system, your knowledge base, and maybe AWS Lambda function to run your API securely. An agent analyzes the user request, and a Lambda function or your application can automatically call the necessary APIs and data source to fulfill the request. You can check out my previous video where I talked about what an agent is and what it does. And lastly, safety. Amazon Bedrock provides a tool called Amazon Bedrock Guardrails that evaluates user inputs and foundation model responses based on use cases, specific policies, and provides an additional layer of safeguard and security regardless of the underlying foundation model. Using a short natural language description, you can use the guardrails to define a set of topics to avoid within the context of your application, and then it detects and blocks user input and foundation model response that fall into the restricted topics. The guardrail supports contextual grounding checks to detect hallucination in model response for application using RAG and summarization application. So in essence, Amazon Bedrock is the place whereby you can be able to create Gen AI application, and it provides you with different tools you can use. So yeah, at the bottom of the stack is the infrastructure to build and train machine learning and AI models, and this service is Amazon SageMaker. You can build, train and deploy machine learning models, including foundation models at scale. Take a look at this. Consider this option when you have a use case that can benefit from extensive training, fine-tuning and customization of foundation models, that you want it to be specific, very specific to your use case. It also streamlines sometimes challenging task of evaluating or the process of evaluation with foundation models, and this is the best fit for your use case. It also provides infrastructure and purpose-built tools for use throughout the machine learning lifecycle. A good example is, this is a state-of-the-art research and development lab. You have access to every piece of high-end tech, and you're in complete control of the scientific process from the start to the finish. You have the control. That is the infrastructure. That is what Amazon SageMaker does. It's more advanced for advanced machine learning workflows, and it kind of requires deep control of customization. After you have already chosen the generative AI service you're going to use, you need to choose the foundation model that will give you the best result for your specific use case. Here are some critical factors to consider when choosing an appropriate foundation model for your use case. Number one is the modality. Modality just refers to the different types of data the model is going to process. So, for example, embeddings, text, images, or audio. Now, the choice of modality should align with the data that you're working with. Now, if you're working with embedding data, if you want to embed data, you need to use an embedding model. If you are working with natural language, if your project involves in natural language processing, you need to use text-based model like Cloud and Llama and the rest that are actually out there. So the modality is key when you're choosing, is a key factor when you're choosing the foundation model you want to use. Another one is the model size. Now, the model size is the number of parameters in a model. Now, its value can be estimated during training phase from the given training data. Parameters are crucial as they directly define the model's capability to run from data. Large language models often have more than 50 billion parameters. You can have a model that has 50 billion parameters. You can have a model that has 300 billion parameters. It matters because it's a key indicator for model complexity. More parameters mean that the model can capture more intricate and more specific patterns and nuances in the data, which generally leads to better performance. Another one is the context window. And what is a context window? It's the amount of text that the model can consider at one particular time when generating responses. Large context windows enables the model to remember and process more information in a single run. This ability actually is particularly valuable in complex tasks such as understanding long documents, videos, engaging in detailed conversation, or generating contextually accurate text over large spans of data. Pricing. I should have started with this. The cost of using a foundation model is influenced by the model's complexity and the model's provider price signature. High performance models often comes with high costs due to increased computational needs, so you need to be careful with the pricing. Fine-tuning. Fine-tuning can increase the model accuracy by providing your own task-specific labeled training dataset and further specialize your foundation model. So fine-tuning is actually key when you're actually working with foundation model, because continuous pre-training helps models become more domain-specific by accumulating more robust knowledge and adaptability beyond the original training data. Another one is the data quality. This is very critical to the success of a generative AI application. And consider the following in data quality: the relevance. Ensure that the data that has been used for training is relevant to your application. The accuracy. Make sure your data is accurate to make it free from errors and hallucination. Consistency. Number 3, maintain consistency in your data. Inconsistent data confuses the model the same way as a human being is confused by inconsistent information. Biasness and fairness. Be aware of biases in your data, as they can lead to biased output by the model. If you are biased and you teach your children to be biased, they will be biased the same as you are biased. It's the same as a model. Annotation and labeling. Labeling is key. If your application requires labeled data, verify the annotations or labels are of high quality. And lastly, data pre-processing. Preparing your data, cleaning it, and pre-processing it is very key, which helps the data to be very, very strong and to be able to make the model generate a very accurate and better performance and a better performing model. And lastly, the data quantity. The quantity goes a long way. Sufficient data in most cases is better. The more the data, the better. Larger data sets allows your model to learn a wider range of patterns, and that is really key. Now, in summary, as we conclude this video, choosing the right AWS service for your Gen AI use case actually depends on your role and your objective and what the vision of the product, the vision of the material you want to create actually is. For immediate productivity and internal use with your own company's data, use Amazon Q. For more of assistant bit, to have an AI assistant, Amazon Q is best for that. For building and scaling custom application with a choice of models, with agentic features, with knowledge base and different tools integrated together, use Amazon Bedrock. And lastly, for advanced machine learning workflows that require deep control and customization, or you want workflows that you need to have advanced customization, use Amazon SageMaker. Thank you very much for tuning into the video. I hope you enjoyed it, I hope you liked it, and I will see you in the next video.